man.
Cool to hang with you always.
Yeah,
and you got a great new album out, and it's just a lot of great songs on it. Let's talk about it. You just decided to call it Alice in Chains this time, right?
Yeah, we basically couldn't think of anything else to call it.
There are days like that, right? I mean, it's true.
Well, actually, we never called or used the self-titled record thing, so it's kind of good that we held out on that.
Cool, you always have that option, right?
So we got stumped on this one and went with the self-title.
Well, that's cool. I mean, you didn't run out of ideas definitely for songs. There's a lot of cool stuff on there, and I mean, it's a great record. It's really like a great cross between like, everything from Sap and Jar of Flies to like the Harder Edge to Dirt. Some of the stuff on Facelift too. Let's talk a bit about the video. We're gonna actually show the new video right now, which is Grind. Cool. It's the first cut. But let's talk about it. You got the dog that's on the cover of the album there. You got a story about that dog.
Tell everybody about it. Sean did most of the artwork on the record and did a great job. I think it's the best packaging we've had on any record, period. And it's really hard to make it look kind of neat and artistic on a small little piece of plastic. I still miss that plastic.
Yeah, the big album.
I still miss the album. But anyway, he was terrorized by this three-legged dog in his neighborhood called Tripod. And
it's a great name, Tripod.
He used to chase him around on his paper route, I guess, and he used to be a pretty gnarly dog to deal with and stuff. But that's where you get the idea for the album cover anyway. And it fits in for a lot of reasons. It's
cool. So this isn't the actual dog Tripod though that's in the video. You got another three-legged dog.
No, her name is Sunshine actually.
Okay.
Yeah, she lost her leg when she was about 2 actually, chasing cars. She's about 11 now.
That's cool. I mean, it's really interesting to watch. In the clip, it's really cool. Check out the imagery in this. And here's Alice in Chains with Grind. And it's a little bit of I Stay Away from Alice in Chains here on 120 Minutes. Cool song, really interesting video too. It's cool, man.
Yeah, it was kind of cool to do because we didn't have to fake our own song.
Not have to do the whole lip sync thing.
Yeah, well, it's kind of hard doing videos sometimes because basically you're faking your song, so we let somebody else do it this time.
That's cool. It takes all the pressure out of that, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk a bit about the time it took. I mean, between Jar of Flies up to now, I mean, there was, what was it, a good 18 months or so. Right. And then there was a period where you guys were all kind of playing around doing different things. Lane had done the Mad Season record. Right. Mike had played on Slash's Snake Pit thing, and you and Sean had done some guest stuff as well, messing around with Willie Nelson, all that stuff. People, love the press can be just so beat that a lot of times, I'm not dissing all press, but there's a lot of weird press. People are looking for things to write about, especially the British press where they need something new every week because, they have the hype. They'll say, oh, the band's breaking up, members are dying, do all of that.
It gets so stupid after a while. It's something you gotta kind of try to blow out of your head and just to keep yourself sane. And basically, we just reached a point where we were pretty exhausted. We were really worn out, and it was time to just basically sit back and take a look at things.
And rediscover yourselves.
And see how it was going. Well, we'd been running pretty much nonstop to that point, record tour.
Right.
And it got pretty exhausting. And even up to the point where, we'd actually been doing really well. We were still sleeping on people's couches and stuff. And so we spent a lot of time, finding places to settle in and whatnot. And actually started working on this record about January, so. We've been working on pretty much the whole year on this record.
Yeah, it's an incredible record. It's really cool. There's a lot of good stuff on it. Yeah. You're all writing on the record as well. We'll be back in a minute with Jerry. Up next, it's a brand new one from a New York City ska band called Mephistopheles. Their debut album is called God Bless Satan. And the first clip off it is his first song called Doomsday on 120 Minutes. I'm Matt Pinfield, and I'm here with Jerry Cantrell. And Jerry, your writing, I mean, the one thing about Alice in Chains is the writing has always had a very dark sense to it. And even, from the musical side, where it sounds like there's a lot of influences from even like Indian music. I mean, there's a lot of different things in there. People always say that, but what I want to say, take it lyrically, things like on the new album with Heaven Beside You, where you got problems in your life, that's effed up, but you're not blind, you're just overrated, that whole thing? You're just super faded or overrated, super out of your mind, super jaded.
Or overrated, I think.
Yeah, there's a couple different changes in the verses, whatever, you know what I mean? But you have all the ideas where, there's a lot there. There's a lot of that stuff, not to get specific, but there's a lot of it autobiographical, or are they things that you draw from other things, or people and relationships?
Well, that song in particular is pretty. We actually a lot of the stuff that we write is ends up having kind of multiple meanings, even whether we mean it to or not. And but that one's pretty specifically about my relationship with my girlfriend, which I've pretty much wrecked for the last time, I think, and It's just basically about having pretty much the most beautiful thing in front of you and right within your grasp, and yet you're still within inside your own little ball of hell, you know, and all you really got to do is slap yourself awake and reach out and grab it, but that's a hard thing to do. You know,
because of all the other things around you that are...
Life's a tough gig.
Damn, man. All the other things around you, that your environment that affect everything and seem to get in the way of a lot of this. But that's a really cool song. People should check it out when they pick up the album as well. Stick around because we'll be talking more with Jerry in a minute. Right after the break, we've got a new one from the California band, the Campfire Girls. So stay with us here on 120 Minutes. Hey, I'm Matt Pinfield, and we're back here at 120 Minutes with Jerry Cantrell. Jerry, on the new record, and I'm actually on all things, sharing a lot of the writing. I mean, you've always been one of the primary songwriter, but all four of you have done a lot of different stuff. And I mean, everybody's always involved. Like, there's certain songs that Lane might be just doing on his own, or you'll collaborate. Like the new one, Shame and You, he'll do lyrics. How do you come to deciding that? Like, Grind is completely yours, Heaven Beside You, or Lane will have his own track.
It's kind of just, it's really by chance, you know, just like really what happens. There's a multitude of ways that stuff comes about. Whether any one of us brings it in, it always gets tempered by the other guys, you know. And you know, even a song that you know, one of us, and particularly Grind, that I wrote. You know, the idea was a good idea. It's a good song, but Lane and Sean and Mike and myself, when we get together, there's like a chemistry that I mean, it's something that you can't really put your finger on, but it puts that stuff over the top, and it makes it better than you could ever imagine it would be in the first place. And
it's really cool. You guys do have a great, like,
something I'm very thankful for.
I mean, I gotta say that you guys do, the personality of the four of you, you're all really cool, and you got a really cool kind of vibe that contrasts, but really works well of each other, I gotta say. It's funny. I mean, you know, there's a lot of different personalities there, but it's cool. I want to thank you for stopping by tonight, man. I'm bummed that it went so fast, because, you know, there's so much I could talk to you about, and the other guys too. Let's do it again soon, man, Jerry. All right? You and the Pups had a great night, man. Cool. You know, there's never enough time when you love music like we do. Hey, it's a soundtrack of our life. That's why we're here. Up next is a brand new one from a Hollywood, California band called the Campfire Girls. Their debut EP.
Never seen that before.
Nobody's seen this for 100 years.